Good morning, everyone. This is Mr. Egan. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about what we're calling the multiple assessment pilot. Now, some of you are probably like, what is the multiple assessment pilot? A few weeks ago, we sent you a survey regarding assessments or tests in classes and how often you had 3 or more tests in one school day. The survey was sent out to you, we collected information, and from that, a collaborative group of teachers and administrators met to develop a system to help students decrease stress around testing. First of all, before we even get into it, I think it's important to talk about a little bit about a statement of belief. The teachers got together and said, we really need to talk a little bit about what we really believe around the testing environment. And basically, we're committed to providing a healthy and supportive learning environment in which students can be active participants in their own education. Because we recognize that multiple tests in one day can heighten stress and prevent students from performing at their best, we're dedicated to partnering as a community to reduce the occurrence of multiple in-class summative assessments in a single day. The goals of this pilot: to enhance communication between students and teachers, to create a system of self-advocacy that empowers students to be active participants in their academic lives, decrease instances when students take 3 or more tests on the same day, and maintain the same high expectations that are synonymous with the new Canaan High School education. For this pilot, a mandatory move schedule will be implemented for students who have 3 or more tests defined as an in-class summative assessment that has a significant impact on a student's grade and occurs at the end of a unit of study in a single day. There are 3 periods that we're going to try this pilot out. From February 9th to February 15th, that's prior to February break. March 27th to April 5th, that's the end of the third quarter but prior to April break. And May 29th to June 4th, which is the end of the fourth quarter prior to the reading days. We thought those were the busiest times of the second semester, and we really want to focus on those areas for this pilot. Let's take a look at how it works. Should a student have 3 or more tests on these days, tests will be rescheduled in the following order. And there are the dates for the first week of February 9th to February 15th. Let's take a look at a couple scenarios. If a student has a test in math, social studies, and science on February 9th, if we take a look at the tests there that have to move, social studies test is subject to the mandatory move. Let's take a look at another scenario for the same day. A student has tests in English, world language, and science on February 9th. In this scenario, the English test would be the mandatory move. There are 2 other testing weeks where we're going to pilot this out. They are the weeks of March 27th through April 5th and May 29th through June 4th. How does it work again? If there are 3 or more tests on the same day, you have to fill out a student postponement form, we'll get to that in a minute, at least 3 school days in advance to reschedule. Now, teachers are committing to providing 5 days notice on all tests, so those 3 days really are not that difficult. And once again, what is a test? It means a significant in-class summative assessment occurring at the end of a unit of study. It does not include quizzes, projects, or presentations. Please consult your teachers in advance if you're unsure if you have 3+ assessments that qualify. Student instructions will be posted on the main New Canaan High School website and will include a link to the student test postponement form. When 3 or more tests occur on the same day, students will fill out the form at least 3 school days in advance to reschedule. Once again, teachers will provide the 5 days notice on all tests. But let's take a look at the instructions. Basically, you'll see in the instructions the same weeks and what you need to do. But let's take a look at the form. I think that's probably the most important thing for you. So here is the student test postponement form. So I'm going to fill it out as if I am a student. First of all, let's say I am a grade 10 student. Let's choose a counselor. I'm going to say Miss Mitchell is my counselor. Let's say data test. Let's go to that February 9th day because that's the one I was just playing with. And what tests, and what subjects do I have tests on that day? I'm going to say math, science, and let's go with English. So I have to take a look and say which subjects will be moving. So, and the best way to do that is probably to glance back at the schedule. So let me go back to that schedule I think I have here, February 9th. So math, science, and English. So if I take a look, math, science, and English, it looks like English is the one that has to move. So let me go back to my form. So which subject will be moving? That's English. And remember, indicate the teacher's testing in each subject. So career and tech ed, I do not have any. English, let's choose Miss Cullen. In math, let's choose Mrs. Frostick. And science, let's choose Mr. Haig. Social studies, I'm not testing. Now you have to just put this in. So you're not testing in each of the subjects. And if you don't, the form will actually stop you. I know that because I tried it. So I understand that I must follow up with my teachers in person. Remember, what we're trying to enhance is really communication and self-advocacy. So although this form will be sent to your teachers, you do have to speak to your teachers in person. So you're going to say, I agree, and submit. That sends the form in. Now, when you complete the form, the counselors and teachers will receive the email confirmation. Students, you'll have 2 days to follow up in person after you fill it out. Remember now, teachers are given 5 days notice for the test. You have to fill out the form 3 days prior to the test, and you still have 2 days to follow up with that teacher in person to arrange alternate times to take the test. Once again, direct communication is the most important thing. Some of you are probably wondering, great, we have these pilot weeks. What happens outside the pilot? We still want you to fill out the test postponement form, but rescheduling will be at the discretion and flexibility of the teachers. Ultimately, they're going to be working on this pilot, and they're going to agree to do the mandatory moves. But we do ask you to fill it out and work with your teachers to make sure that you can arrange the best way so that you don't have multiple assessments on those days as well. And what are our next steps? We want to review the use and success of the pilot to determine how to move forward. We want to continue to examine ways to decrease stress for you, the students, and we want to continue to make New Canaan High School the best school it can possibly be. We count on you to making it the best school it can be. So please use this form and make sure that you do the best you possibly can at all times. Thank you, and I hope you guys are having a great start to the second semester. Take care.